Hey, everybody. Super excited today to sit down with Jason from SNET Communications, who are really transforming how the hospitality industry, multi-location businesses scale and communicate. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing great, Evan. It's great to be here. Thank you for having us.
Well, thanks for being here. We go back, each of us, many decades in telecom. But before that, maybe introduce yourself, your journey, and how would you describe SNET Communications these days?
Yeah, I'd totally be dating myself if I go all the way back, but I did start off with the Bell South days, so you can kind of get an
Wow.
idea where I started in the communication field. Did a long stint with one of the first ISPs, Mindspring, and then they merged with Earthlink. Did my own channel communications company for about 4 years, and then went to work for Vonage, which first was Vocalocity. We got purchased by Vonage, spent 14 years there, and just came over as CRO of SNET Communications about 6 months ago.
Nice.
One of the things that drew me to this opportunity is one to really come in and build something again. I built a very robust channel business at Vonage, and I really wanted to come into a company where I could really drive and build something again. And SNET Communications gave me that opportunity, but also expanded the breadth of product that we have available to us to sell. One of the differences that SNET has is that we are an all-inclusive provider, right? So we do the circuits, we could do broadband, fiber, wireless. We have robust SD-WAN and managed firewall solution. And then ultimately we've got the UCaaS and CCaaS play that we can layer on top of it. So what it does is it provides one ability for a company to come in and have one provider providing all solutions. I think where we differentiate ourselves in the market is I like to say we are a custom communication solutions provider. We have about 70 integrations built already with different CRM packages, where other companies might charge an arm and a leg for it or say, hey, we're not going to do it, or here are the APIs, you can build it yourself. We'll work with the customer, come up with what that integration needs to be, and actually work with them to build it out for little or no cost. Also, because we have the UCaaS, CCaaS platform of our own, I've been in selling situations where they might be trying to solve for an employee experience or a customer experience, and they might need a feature or a manipulation of a feature that we already have. And we've been able to do that because of our development staff on staff. So I like to say we sit down with customers either trying to figure out their network issues, their broadband issues they might be having, and then, their UCaaS and CCaaS to see what they're trying to accomplish on the employee and customer experience side, work with our partners, work with the customer, and come up with a custom solution that best fits their needs. And as I've come in and kind of built this out, what we're seeing is larger and larger opportunities coming to SNET Communications through our partners.
Brilliant. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. Maybe talk about the modern hospitality landscape. What are the sort of problems they're seeing in their operations, and what are they challenged by beyond obviously having great connectivity and communication services? Maybe go a little deeper into
This is great.
the business challenge.
You bring up a great new service that we just launched about 2 months ago, and that's our unified hospitality communication platform. We are really excited about this platform. What it has done for in relation to how we're approaching the market, where we have a unique offering, is we have over 120 PMS integrations already built today, the property management systems, right? Operas of the world, things of that nature. But where we have a unique offering on the cloud-based front is that we offer our own property management system solution. Where this comes into play is we're actually providing the ability to create redundancy in your PMS solution. So where, Opera PMS solutions do the check-in, check-outs, manage of inventory in the rooms, things of that nature, right? Wake-up calls, right? What we do is, and you've probably been to a hotel before where the PMS solution's gone down, they can't do check-in and check-out, you're just sitting there. What our solution enables them to do is we can create a redundancy. So if that goes down, they can utilize our PMS to actually continue doing check-in, check-outs, manage inventory, whatever, wake-up calls, whatever they need to do. And then when that PMS solution comes back online, our redundancy syncs with it and they're ready to go. That is really unique in the market today. No other unified hospitality platform is doing that today. So that's kind of how we're approaching the business. And also what our own PMS provides us to do is the ability to do a standalone version. If it's a smaller hotel, they don't want to pay the high cost of deploying their own PMS, they can utilize our PMS for that experience.
Brilliant. Typically in hospitality, you either have a great experience at many brands or a terrible one. What's going on in this space? Is it legacy infrastructure, too many vendors trying to communicate, maybe not enough investment in a modern, fresh approach, all the above? What do you see out there?
The really interesting thing is because, throughout my career, especially in the UCaaS space, there wasn't really a play for cloud-based solutions to play in the space. So the majority of the time it was, PBX solutions, on-premise equipment really ran that whole hotel business because cloud-based solutions didn't have the ability to do the check-ins, the check-outs, the functionality that they needed. What we've been able to do is come up with a platform that actually can displace an on-premise solution. We can utilize legacy telephones in rooms. If it's analog, we can utilize ATA devices to actually utilize the phones in the room, so they don't need to get rid of all that equipment. But it is a full display, so they don't need that equipment anymore. If they're paying, support costs to service that equipment, all that stuff, they get to move away from that. The cloud-based solution provides, a cloud-based environment that could be utilized across multiple locations. So if you have if you have a number of different hotels where we're talking to many different companies that have a number of different hotels, you have one cloud-based solution across all properties, right?
Fantastic. So what type of hotels benefit the most? Are they sort of the, multi-site regional groups, national brands with these giant footprints? And how do you explain the economics? They're typically very tight with infrastructure spending. So I assume you have a pretty nice value prop on the business side as well.
Right. So there's, obviously no upfront cost to get started with us, right? That's a perk, right? And then you're moving to a month-to-month type of, a monthly payment, right? A monthly recurring payment, right? But where it's interesting is that we're having conversations with big brands. We're having conversations with boutique hotels. We actually did a demo for the back office for a big hotel group to have our unified communication platform in there as a back office solution. That demo went so well, they then turned to us and wanted to talk more about the unified communication hospitality platform. That's turned into a really big conversation with a very big brand. We're looking forward to getting that moving along and hopefully rolling out with several big brand hotels. But we're also in talks with a lot of boutique hotels. As you know, in this business as well, there's owners of hotels that have maybe 2 or 3, 4 hotels of their own. So we're in talks with them to maybe roll out across their different properties that they have under their ownership.
Fantastic. I mean, the other challenge I see with hospitality is on the customer service, customer experience side. You call a contact center, they're not really connected to the property itself, or you're at the property and they can't, connect you to change a reservation. I assume that's a similar disconnect. Are you trying to look at that problem?
Yeah, that's the great thing about SNET Communications, and one of the things we pride ourselves on. I always like to say we're an operations first company because we do such a great job with our implementation and support side of the house. I like to term it a concierge level service. We have customers we're a 20-year-old company, by the way, and we have customers that have been with us 9 years longer. We have an average lifetime of a customer of 9 years. We have a net promo score of 90 plus. So it screams volumes on how people like us when they come and actually we provide service for them and how long they stay with us. And I think that's, our ability to have visibility into that unified communication and hospitality platform. And if they are having issues, be able to call in. We have visibility into what's going on and we could quickly fix that. It's been a great perk in relation to how we service our customers once they come aboard with SNET Communications.
Fantastic. I always wonder about those phones in room. They're like something out of the 1970s. At worst, best, maybe it's a 10, 20-year-old phone. I always thought, beyond, I guess they have to have them for emergency services, they could do more with communications in the room, whether it's a television being connected, whether it's a tablet or some sort of interface for room service. It sounds like there's a revenue opportunity as well, not just reducing costs. And
there It really is. It's funny as we were rolling out this solution, I made it a point to work internally with our teams to create an ROI calculator because there are not only cost savings that you're seeing just from, reduced pain points that they're having to do with on-premise equipment and costs that they incur today and savings that we get there, but there are revenue opportunities, like you said, where, we could put more updated phones in the room that provide functionality that they could actually have, revenue opportunities where they're either, calling to get menu items off the room service thing or you name it. And then our television technology as well that provides you the ability to go on cost savings and checkout, all that stuff. But yes, there's a number of ways that the system can be used, not only on a cost savings measure, but also on a revenue producing measure as well.
Fantastic. And I think many of the same problems apply to other industries. Clearly, you have your hands full with hospitality. It's going well. That's a huge market, but other ambitions and maybe healthcare or retail that also need a lot of help when it comes to communications.
Obviously, yeah. We've had a long storied career with some really big brands that have helped us. One of the things that we did, one of the big providers that we have today is Marco's Pizza, which is an interesting little story. Is we initially had 155 locations with Marco's Pizza.
Wow. And
they were having broadband issues where they were utilizing the same broadband across multiple locations. And, you have someone on a device using some bandwidth doing a media thing that they shouldn't probably be doing. It was sucking broadband up. What we did is we went in and utilizing our SD-WAN solution, solved that broadband issue. Once we solved that broadband issue, they came to us and asked us to do an integration into their point of sale service. And so we built that integration and we got their unified communications and service technology as well. That turned into corporate coming to us once we got those 155 locations, asking us to roll it out across all their locations. And we now have 1,500 plus Marco's Pizza locations, and they continue to grow. We actually just got a huge number of Marco's Pizzas out of Puerto Rico, interesting enough, that just turned up. So that's an ongoing thing. We've also, had the benefit of a big dental practice, one of those multiple, it's called Familia Dental. It was about 80 locations. They, interesting enough, were having an issue where they were uploading patient images to their network, and it was taking anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, costing thousands of dollars a day to get those images up. We went in with our SD-WAN solution, solved that broadband issue, got it down to 30 seconds, saved them a lot of money. That in turn, they came to us and said, hey, can you build an integration into our CRM and, deploy your UCaaS solution? We got that as well, and that's turned into 85 locations. So we do a lot in that space. We have a lot of brands like that. Hand and Stone is another big customer of ours that we have like over 85 locations today with them. So that distributed multi-location model is big for us today. We also, have the ability to go into mid-market as well. We have some, larger companies as well that are coming to us talking about deploying our overall solutions to them. Our ability to build those integrations has really helped us. So if companies are looking to do something, around their CRM and we don't have, and that's not built today, like let's say in the insurance business, we have that ability to build those integrations, and that opens up opportunities for us to really solve for their solutions.
Amazing. Well, it's very exciting to see the tech that you and I have known about for a decade being applied beyond the Fortune 500 who, have big budgets, but easily consume this, but the SMEs who are kind of left in the lurch many times. So it's a fantastic opportunity. What's next? Peek into where you're going, what's on the radar next year, maybe with the product or the marketplace?
Yeah, I think, as you're well aware, AI is the future, right? And so more features coming out in relation to AI, sentiment analysis, or we're going to finally release a voice bot, which is going to be really cool and crucial to us moving into that space. That's going to be really great. We have a chat bot today, which we have a unique offering there where, it was interesting. I had a partner come to me and go, I need a UCaaS offering with a chat bot that I don't need to deploy a contact center seat and it doesn't cost me so many dollars to deploy. And so I went to my product team. I go, we can build this, right? We can build a UCaaS product with a chatbot. So we were able to build a UCaaS product with our chatbot. Chatbot only costs $15 a month, and you get you get the ability to put that on your website. And so what that's opened the door for is like larger SMB, mid-market companies that are smaller mid-market companies that are looking for a chatbot on their website and, a unified communication as a service platform on the backside, right? So that's getting a lot of interest. We're getting a lot of interest there. And what we're going to do then is roll out the voice bot on top of that, which will be really interesting because that'll give the flexibility of having the web presence and a bot utilizing that AI technology there. And then when someone calls in and utilizing the voice bot to answer certain types of questions that, you don't need an agent for, right? And then we'll roll out sentiment analysis. Obviously, that's, trying to understand what's going on in a conversation in real time. That's going to be crucial, too, for managers to understand what's going on in a call center environment or a service center to really understand what they're doing, on the phone call, how that phone call is evolving. There'll be real-time transcriptions, which will be really interesting to see. Those are the types of things that we're moving in toward in the future. What we want to be able to do is not only solve for the customer experience, the employee experience side, but ultimately the customer experience side as well for companies. And however, they need to actually solve for those solutions and what they're trying to solve for, right?
Fantastic. So you've had all this success in a world that's, usually dominated by big tech or big telecom, the big legacy carriers. What's been the secret of your success, all these wins competitively? How have you managed to outmaneuver, the big names that we all know out there?
It's great.
Maybe aren't as focused on SME.
I remember when I was interviewing with our CEO, Alex Fain, I said the same thing to him because he's had this company for 20 years and it's been a very successful company. And I'm like, you have all these big brands and people that have come to you for service. And what is your secret? And it is what I said earlier. It's what we do on the operations side of the business. I think the two ways I believe we compete in the market today as a smaller brand, a smaller company, is our ability to customize solutions, right? So, and then being that all-in-one provider. That's another big component of it. As I'm reading more and more, and you might be hearing this as well, is that companies are looking for one provider for their communication solutions, right? The days of going to like a Vonage or a Ring Central and just having their UCaaS, CCaaS front and then being dependent on someone else to provide the network connectivity, and then you having issues and things of that nature, that's been huge for us to be that one provider that can provide all of it. As you remember, it was about a month ago, AWS went down, right? A number of brands went down in my space, the Vonages, the Ring Centrals, they all had issues because of this same issue. And one of the things that was really interesting is the day after, I did a presentation the day after, and we have a slide in our deck that talks about our redundancy because we have redundant data centers in Chicago and Sacramento. And so we can guarantee uptime. And so I just immediately went to that slide on the deck and said, hey, did you guys have AWS issues yesterday? Did you have to deal with customers calling you saying, hey, my system's down, whatever? Well, at SNET Communications, you don't have to worry about that. We've got redundant data centers. We can guarantee uptime. And then I just said, hey, I'm going to just move over in the corner and start taking your opportunities, right? But I think that's key for us, is just being an all-in-one provider, but also guaranteeing uptime in relation to our applications. And then, because we're able to do the all-in-one, because we're able to do the customization of solutions, ultimately we win the deal. And then once we win the deal, as I spoke to you earlier, is providing this concierge level service that keeps customers happy and staying with us. And it speaks volumes to how long customers have stayed with us for a 20-year-old company. And I think that's how we compete. And it's getting partners and customers to trust us on what we're doing and give us that opportunity. And then once we get that opportunity, step it up to plate and really nailing that ball and knock it out of the park,
Fantastic. Well, as we head into the busy holiday season, this is more important than ever. Retailers, pizza companies, automotive dealers, they're in the phone business, the customer communications business as much as they're in the, pizza business. So great work and onwards and upward. Thanks for sharing a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. It's been great. We have our own a big car dealership we just landed as well, which was a 23 location opportunity.
Wow.
They got primary, they got backup, from us. They got a wireless so they could walk out into their locations and actually
very cool.
still have access to the internet. They got our unified communication as a service platform. They actually got our contact center platform as well, because they had a 15-person sales group that actually takes calls and sells. So we're starting to see those opportunities as well. And then we actually just got a huge energy company as well, which was a great win for us. They were on their own, their same phone service for 18 years, and they were reluctant to move. But because we were able to mirror some of that old premise-based functionality and what they were looking for, they needed unique rings when certain calls come in about, in relation to trades that needed to happen and things of that nature. We were able to win that business as well with all our technology. And so it's been a great run so far. This is, me stepping into this role has been so much fun, and we've got a great team behind us, and I'm really looking forward to what we're going to do from here on out.
Wow. Great work. Congratulations again. And thanks for sharing the vision.
All right, Evan, I really appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for listening, watching. Also check out our new TV show on techimpact.tv on Bloomberg TV and Fox Business. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Evan. Bye-bye.
Take care.